Hello and welcome to Full Foggle with me today. I have Stuart Weiss. How are you today, Stuart?
Doing great, Justin. How are you, buddy?
Good. So we're here to talk about your motorsports racing team, like we always do on Full Foggle. So just kind of give me a little bit of background as to why why motorsports is for you as a person, and just kind of give me a background of what you expect out of your drivers to
Sure.
start with.
Well, to give you a little bit of background, I've been only in racing um, professionally since last year. So our team is a little bit over right at a year old. We bought our first car after Talladega last year. Um, and I've been a race fan my whole life. And so I raced when I was in my early years, 30 years ago. I raced locally, and I've had just a love and passion for it. And when I was kind of looking at where things were in my life, I decided that I wanted to live some dreams. And I've always had a dream of going racing. And so we looked into it last year and met some really good people who helped us along the way. And with all the help and everything we've done, we've managed to put a team together. I feel like we've got a great bunch of people together. I got a great driver in Becca Monopoly. I got a great crew chief, Tom, and Tom Monopoly, her father. And with everybody that I've met so far, we've managed to come out and put a car on the track, and we're not where we want to be, but we're competitive. We're trying to we're getting faster all the time. We're learning what we don't know, and I like where we are right now.
So, um, so tell me a little bit about what your goals are this year. I mean, first, first your team, it sounds like. So, what's going to be a successful year?
Well, we have several goals. One of our main goals is we want to be able to make the schedule that we have. We have an 8 race schedule. We want to make sure we make every race, and we want to make sure that we're competitive in those races. We want to finish every lap and finish as high as we can. That's our goal this year. Our goal is to learn and to grow. We wrecked bad at Daytona and destroyed one of our new cars, which was difficult. But we just had a really great race last week at Pensacola. We had a car that was running just outside the top 10 most of the night. We put a set of tires on the second half of the race that just didn't seem to do as well as the ones we started on, and wound up falling to 14th. But we finished the race, and I think we got a lot of experience and learned a lot. And now we're getting ready to go to Talladega in a few weeks. And our goal there really is to survive because, like I said, we had a really bad Daytona. Got the car tore up, but we want to survive and learn and hopefully get a top 20 finish out of there. And that's our goal for there. For the rest of the year, we just want to run every lap we can. We need seat time for our driver. We need time for a crew to learn how to make adjustments on these cars and make them better. And so for us, we want to finish every race and obviously finish better than we did the race before. And so as long as we're making progress, I think it's successful for us.
So, I guess my next question has to do with w- w- uh was it an easy conversation to like say, you know what, I want to get big into motorsports, and you know, like I said before, it's all a new team, but what what led to this, and how did you come up with the name?
Well, first, the name came from I have a automotive repair shop called City Garage in Lakeland. And so the name came out of that. I mean, just to be honest with you, I mean, we already had the City Garage, which we really enjoyed and liked the name. And so we combined it with our into our motorsports team. I'll be honest with you, it was difficult conversations I had because we didn't know a lot about I knew a lot about racing, but I didn't know a lot about what it means to own a race team and what it means to put a car on the track. And so I spent many hours talking to many people. And of course, the most important one was my wife. I had to convince her that this was a good decision for us. And I still have those conversations regularly right now with her. But it's a very expensive sport. It takes a lot of people and a lot of pieces to do it. It's not something you can just go down the road, pick up a car, and you go racing at the track. There's so much that goes into it, and I feel like we're learning, we're gaining on it. We're making strides in the right direction all the time, but it's a tough sport. It's a very tough sport. Anybody who thinks they can just jump into this and be successful, needs to have some conversations with some people like me because it's not. It's a very difficult sport, but it's a lot of fun. It's very challenging. I enjoy the challenge, and I'm doing it with really good people. So it makes it easier.
I'm going to build off of what you just said ago. What do you think is the most challenging part for you right now as a young owner in
Uh,
motorsports?
there's two challenges right now that we're facing. The biggest challenge we face is equipment, making sure we get the right equipment and that equipment is competitive, meaning cars, motors, things like that. The second thing that's been really challenging for us is getting the experience, Justin, the difference between the teams that are finishing in the top 10 and the teams that are finishing 20th really is it's not necessarily always equipment. A lot of it is setup and know how to get the cars to handle. You can have all the horsepower in the world, but if you can't turn, you're not going to do very well. And so for us, it's been learning how to adjust the car, how to make it handle, how to give Becca a car that she can go out there and drive easily without having to put the car at danger. Our first race in Indianapolis, the car was so loose. She could barely keep it under most of the races, even though we made adjustments throughout the race. It was just an extremely loose car, and she ended up losing it in the second half. Couldn't catch it, and ended up hitting the wall, and wrecked us out of the race. But we are making slow strides on that. But that's the biggest challenge I think for most teams, Justin, is having that expertise in the pit that can help set those cars up and make them handle.
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about your driver. Um, how did you get hooked up with her and kind of just tell us a little bit about your relationship with her and how
Yeah.
much you cost her behind the wheel of your race cars.
Well, we're in Lakeland, Florida, and so when we started looking at building a team last year, we just Googled and found Becca was driving in the ARCA race at Daytona last year for Mike Harmon Racing, and so we saw that she was from Lakeland. So we reached out to her, and she agreed to meet with us. Her and her dad met with us, and we sat down and basically talked to her about ARCA, her experience, her driving career. She was just very personable, and her family was exceptionally pleasant. And so when we went to Daytona, she again was riding for Mike Harmon Racing. We got a chance to hook up with them again there. And when we came back, the decision was to reach out to them and see if they would be interested in helping us get this team started and racing for us. We knew Becca was a winner. She's won almost 100 races. She's won 20 championships. I mean, she can drive a car. We knew that. The issue was whether she would want to team up with us to do it. And so we sat down and met with her after Daytona last year and her dad and basically told her what we were trying to do and asked if she would be interested in making that journey with us, and she was. And so it's been a really good partnership. Tom has been building race cars for 50 years, and there's nothing that he can't do to a race car. And then Becca, of course, can wheel a car. And so the combination has been really positive for us, and it's been just a natural fitting. The pieces have gone together real well, and we're making strides all the time. Again, Tom hasn't worked on ARCA cars; they're very different than some of the cars he's worked on in the past. But we're making strides to getting it where it needs to be.
Do you, where would you like to see your team I guess 5, 6 years from now?
Well, ideally, we'd like to be, a top 10 team, one that's competing every week, and is, viewed as being one of the more competitive teams in ARCA. I think there's some plans down the road to maybe venture into some of the other series, probably not full time, but dabble in some of the other series as well to try to get some more experience. But we want our team to be a championship quality team. It's just trying to get there is the obstacle right now. It takes, to run a full season, you have to have a stable of cars that you can use. You got to have the equipment and you got to have the expertise. And right now, building those has been a challenge. We now have 3 cars in our shop, two that are drivable. We've got 2 motors, we've got a hauler, and we've got all the equipment, and so we're slowly making strides on it. But it's a big undertaking.
So I guess, Stuart, two more questions for you, and then I'll let you go. And those two questions are like for a young teen owner, uh, what uh, are you always on edge about, are we going to run good? How are things going to go? Can Are you kind of like one of those people that are like, oh, I don't know about this every time someone makes a mistake? Or are you just kind of like, got never give up attitude, I like to say, and basically feel like pushing forward every time um someone makes a mistake and you guys talk about it? Because mistakes happen in
They do.
motorsports.
They do. And there's
And how do you think you handle the pressure of being the team owner when things go kind of sour?
really good question, Justin. I'm on pins and needles during the race. I'll be honest with you. My wife jokes at me because when she looks at me, I'm on pins and needles the whole time the car's driving around. I'm a fighter. I don't give up on anything. So, we were at Daytona, we brought a brand new car. I mean, everything in that car was brand new, except, we used a Hendrick chassis that we got, but everything on that car was brand new. And it was a 6-figure car. And on lap 18, we got caught up in an accident that was none of our doing and destroyed the car. It was, trust me, took the wind away from me, when you put that much work and effort into something that you build. But, within a couple of days, we had tracked down another car and we're rebuilding and we're moving on. I mean, that's what you got to do in racing. You got to be able to take the hits as well as you take the victories. And so, I'm anybody who knows me knows I don't give up. In fact, I get more determined when adversity comes. And so we're moving forward. We're moving forward, but we're having fun. And last week we were probably the most competitive we've been in any of our races, and the car was fast, and we're more motivated now than we have been. So we're doing good.
All right. And my final question is like, how 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 much do you talk on the I have to know this. How much do you talk on the radio, or are you just kind of one of those teen owners that it's like, my car's out there, my responsibility is at the race stop,
Yeah.
I get some what's in my car, and let the team do its business?
I talk almost zero on the radio during the race, but I do a lot of talking before the race. I talk to my pit crew and my crew chief during the race, but on the radio, I don't typically say anything. Our spotter does most of the communication, and anything that's going to be relayed to our pit stops or what we do to the car. Our crew chief does the communicating on that. I stay quiet and watch what's going on. But I talk to the people in the pits especially when I'm nervous, I talk a lot. Andy Hillenberg came up the other day and at the last race and he goes, Stu, just calm down. Just calm down. I was so hyped up. It's just it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's nerve-wracking, it's stressful. It's just so many things at one time, but it's been a fun ride.
Well, it's been a fun one on Full Follow with you today. I hope you have fun, and I hope by you coming on here, we can help you get better known in motorsports,
Oh
and
yeah.
I hope you guys had a great time with me
Yeah, I
today.
appreciate it, Justin. I appreciate you reaching out to me, man. And thanks for having us on. Again, we can't do this without people like Orlando Health and Becca and everybody who does it for us. So I appreciate you. Have me on again sometime.
All right, this has been Full Follow with Justin Buster. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, buddy.